Hi Libra, happy birthday. We are officially in Libra season. So welcome to your reading. I'm doing something new. I'm titling them Healing+Shadow work, and they're going to be timeless readings. So the other ones I've been labeling as, monthly readings, the love and relationship and the career and money, and the other bonus ones I was doing. But this one's going to be labeled as timeless. They're all really timeless, but this one specifically, whenever you watch it, it's relevant for you. So it could help you look at something from the past that you're holding on to that you can let go of, that you need to heal from, or it's happening right now in the present, or it's something in the future for you that, it's preparing you for. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to get a look at some of the astrology that's playing in here for you. So if you don't already know, like haven't gotten your birth chart read or read it for, just seen the free version for yourself, I'm going to link a couple of the free websites that I've personally used to look up people's birth charts and my own, that can explain to you like where your planets are, where your houses are. Of course, go get a personalized astrology reading if you really feel called to that, but just knowing little basics helps you understand sometimes more about what we're talking about. But yeah, I'll go into the book a little bit too, just to get really clear. So I think I'm gonna get two. They're saying 2 cards. So first we have the 7th house, which is partners. So right now, in the past or whenever this is relevant for you, you're healing something around partnership, and Gemini, I think. So, maybe your Gemini is in your 7th house, or, these are just the 2 relevant signs that are coming up for you for this, but we're just going to look a little bit at so it's about bindings, whether emotional or domestic or lawful, and what is right or permissible are indicated now. The 7th house is the area of the chart that represents the other, since it is opposed the 1st house of the self. Oh, it's funny, since it's the traditional house of Libra, hello Libra, that's why it's showing up, it governs fairness, balance, and the law. It is also the house of open enemies. Ooh. Okay, so, and then we have Gemini, I think. So Gemini is duality. But let's see what else we can get some insight into. Communication is key. Be versatile and quick at this time. You must also be mindful because people are talking. So yeah, it's ruled by the planet Mercury, so Gemini is very charming, but it's about communication and thought and using your words. Yeah, but it's mostly about communication. Okay, so let's get more into this though and see how it's playing out for you. So how, what it could immediately, what I get intuitively is just it's how you communicate with other people, or how other people communicate with you also. So there's a shadow or some work or some healing to be done around that. Perhaps you've already been working on it. Perhaps this is new insight for you. Perhaps it's something that will come into play in the future, like I said. Let's see. What does Spirit want you to know about this? The Chariot. So the Chariot is Cancer energy. It's also movement forward. Chariot is like the vehicle or the vessel. I guess not vessel, but vehicle that drives us. Obviously, there's a vehicle in that card, but that drives us forward, that helps us take action towards, like, gets us from A to B, basically. We have the Lover, so Gemini showing up again, and the 7 of Scoops, which is the 7 of Pentacles. So it could have to do with the love relationship. Gemini represents the twins, which is polarity, duality, or opposite, masculine, feminine, light and dark. So Libra is ruled by Venus, which is about love and relationships. So again, this is about relationships you have with other people. That's why the 7th house is coming up. To me, the shadow, look, I'm going to be very direct and very real with the stuff that comes through. And I try to be as, what's the word, as mindful as possible when it comes to the words I'm using, so that I don't come across as judgmental, because I'm not judging at all, but it's more so just the way spirit communicates through me. Like, that's how I communicate, is very directly. So I'm going to say what comes to mind. So what I felt when the Chariot flipped over was that it's the way in which you use other people as vehicles to get from point A to point B. So this is a shadow that you can look at within yourself, right? And I'm not saying that you're doing this maliciously, okay, right? That's not what I'm saying. We all do things that are a little bit manipulative sometimes because we're too afraid to ask for our needs to get met. And sometimes we aren't even aware of what the needs are that we're manipulating other people to get. But it's the way in which you use relationships to get to other people. So the Seven of Pentacles, this is the Seven of Pentacles, would be taking stock. Looking at your relationships, which ones truly nourish you? Which ones show up and meet you and match you? And the Lovers is also about a choice. The Ten of Spokes, which is the Ten of Cups. Happiness, joy, emotional fulfillment, bliss. I don't know why riding coattails is what I'm hearing. And it's not... Okay, so just so you know that this could also be the way other people possibly are with you. Okay, so that's a very... And that's some healing work for you to do, right? So your healing work would be to set boundaries with people who you tend to notice, like, are doing that with you. And then, of course, we can sometimes do that with other people where we're like, oh, this person's going in this direction, or, you know, I want to hang out with this person. And again, this isn't like to say don't ever do this, because it is good to surround yourself with people who are maybe where you want to be, but you're not already, like whether you're trying to accomplish something in business or love or any other area of your life. We want to surround ourselves with people who have gotten there, who we can learn from. That's absolutely okay. We just want to make sure that we aren't, like I said, riding coattails in terms of not doing our own work and only looking for opportunity, right? Because that's not going to bring us real success, and it's not going to bring us true emotional fulfillment if we're not doing it on our own. So the High Priestess, here's what I feel also. The High Priestess and the Five of Cups. Listening to your intuition, you feel like listening to your intuition has gotten you to places where you were disappointed. This is intuition and hidden knowledge. Being tapped in, channeling messages from the divine. And then the Five of Cups would be sadness and loss and disappointment, something that didn't work out from the past. And it's emotional because it's cups. So feeling like you listened to your intuition and it got you somewhere that you didn't, that had you feeling regretful, like, God, I wish I didn't do that, or that was really painful. And that has you, I can feel so much resistance with this message coming out too. I just want to say that this applies to me as well because I have a Libra moon. There's a lot of resistance to this. It's okay. Lean into the resistance. If you're feeling resistance to this message, lean into it and just let yourself be curious about where it's taking us. Okay. I promise you we're getting to a place of feeling empowered, because that's always where I want to leave anyone with these messages. And some action steps on how we can tackle these things. So, what was I saying? The shadow is you have a little bit of a resentment towards your own intuition or towards your own guidance because of something that's happened in the past, which then maybe causes you to look to other people, right? Like I was saying, it's not riding the coattails, but just like looking at other people and saying like, oh, well, they did this, so I'm going to do it, right? Without even checking in with yourself. And again, vice versa. This could be people also doing this to you. The Magician. So this Magician is finding your power. It's knowing that you have everything you need to create what it is you desire. Oh gosh, there's so much resistance to this message coming out. I don't know if it's interesting. Okay, so we have the Page of Strands, a divinely guided idea. Okay, Page of Wands would be a spark of inspiration or creativity, or someone who can do that, like help you, like someone who maybe says something that sparks something within you. That's more so what it is. But this is like a divinely guided idea. And then we have the 10 of Dice, which is the 10 of Swords, a painful ending. Maybe you feel like somebody stole an idea from you, or maybe you stole an idea from somebody, and it's time to come to terms with the fact that maybe the guidance you got was stealing something that wasn't yours, or vice versa, right? Somebody's stealing something that wasn't theirs. And this is more of like a creative idea, right? It's like, and this is all coming from fear around you actually stepping up and owning that you can create what it is you want to create, owning your creative power. So there's a lot of the comparison going on, comparison with other people. And what's ending is this like pain of, it never happens for me, or, you know, like feel like being, it's more so like, I just feel like the scattered, frantic fear that something's not going to happen for you, that you see other people doing or having, but you're perfectly capable. The Tower. See, the Tower is letting something die, letting something be destroyed. It's upheaval. So perhaps something was destroyed. Perhaps like you created something and then it was painful when it ended. And the 7 of Cups. Fantasy and illusion. It was all based in illusion, which is why it didn't last. And again, this is because it was coming from somewhere that almost like you were tapping into something that it wasn't meant for you to take on, to have come to fruition, or vice versa. Someone was doing that for you. So this could represent someone around you, or like I said, this you saw someone take an idea that you had, and then you thought they became successful with it, but then but now things are crumbling for them, and you're going to see that. And it's all because it wasn't coming from a grounded place. It wasn't coming from a substantial, like, balanced place. It was coming from you getting your wires crossed with other people. So this is where boundaries come in. It's like almost like perhaps that is something that's really big for you, is creating boundaries with other people so that you're not tapping into their consciousness as much, and vice versa, so that these things aren't getting crossed, right? So that you can tell who's thinking what and who's doing what. We all have what we're supposed to individually share or do, or, you know, communicate with the world or create. So you just want to make sure that it's actually coming from you and your own guidance, and not from somebody else's. And we just want to check our ego, make sure it's not our ego just wanting to like try to, again, ride the coattails of somebody else to not do the work. So we have the Six of Swords. This is moving on. It's moving forward. It's moving on, deciding to let something go. So perhaps it is like having to let go of this pain from the past, something that didn't work out. Yeah, and focus on what you truly desire. The 9 of Cups is wishes being fulfilled. What do you actually wish for? Perhaps you were, again, they want me to say it that way, riding coattails, because it's meant to wake you up in a way that gets your attention. But it's, again, this is why it's shadow work, because you weren't aware that you were doing this. So, right. So you have to be a little bit more emotionally detached from it to do shadow work, because if you're feeling shame about it, I mean, I guess that is part of your shadow work as well, but you don't want to like beat yourself up for it. It's like, it was all meant to be. It was all meant to happen. God, these cards. And, you're just realizing it now. You're realizing, oh, geez, I was totally operating from this place of unconscious behavior because I was too afraid to dive deep and own my power and God, these cards, and actually create something that I truly want, right? So it was like you've been using these models, or again, vice versa, somebody else has been using things from you. And now what's happening for them is things are being destroyed because it wasn't anything that you were doing that wasn't grounded in your own authenticity and your own spiritual guidance is going to be destroyed. And it may be painful, but it's only because we were attached to something happening a certain way and we expected a certain outcome, right? So if we are very attached to something, the universe is probably going to come in and take it from us to show us that we don't actually need it. And whatever we are attached to, that thing providing for us, we can actually give to ourselves. So for you, it has a lot to do with relationships, the words you're using, and the words, the way you communicate with other people, or the way maybe you talk a little bit too much about your ideas, or, somebody else, you've been listening to too many of other people's ideas. Okay. So that's something like that. But now it's time to actually create what you truly desire, what you were meant to create here in this world. Because you're realizing this, and because you can do this healing work and say, okay, I'm not going to do this again, right? I've learned this lesson and I can tell the difference now, and I'm going to set boundaries, and I'm going to be more clear about what is theirs and what's mine. Okay, so this is my, what is this called? What did I do with the deck? Archetype deck, okay? And so it will give us different archetypes that play out, that, again, this is why I'm using these for this, is because it's unconscious, these are archetypes that we're playing into, and we all do it at some point in our life, or can. And so it's just giving us more insight into which archetype is playing out. And it shows us both the shadow and the light side of these archetypes. So let's see what's playing out for you, and maybe some guidance on how we can, okay, that one, move through it. Detective. So the light attributes of detective are great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. And the shadow attributes are voyeurism and falsifying information. Okay, so that rings true with what we were just talking about with like the whole Gemini communication thing, taking things from other people, right? So watching people a little bit too closely, and then falsifying information to me feels like making something your own that's not your own. Okay, so we have athlete. The light attributes of athlete are dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. The shadow attributes are misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, and false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. To me, it feels like, man, your shadow really doesn't want me to say these things. This shadow feels like, along with the detective card, watching other people and identifying what their weaknesses are and exploiting them. That's what that feels like to me. I know we think of athlete, it's like a physical thing, but I mean, like, to be honest, it's definitely more of a mental thing. So how can we transcend these? How can we heal them? How can we integrate them? Let's just get a few cards as advice from Spirit. So, you know, again, if you've noticed that this is playing out for you, or it has been before, find some resolve around it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shameful of it. We all have this ability to do these things, but this is just what's coming out for you. And it may just be one of the major things that you can look at for yourself that's going to help move you forward as a Libra, wherever your Libra is in your chart. All right. 8 of Wands, King of Cups, and the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so I immediately heard forgiving your father for whatever you feel like he's done, whether he rejected you, abandoned you, forgiving masculine energy in general, but I heard father. And the 8 of Wands, something coming in quickly, manifestation. It's like forgiving your father for not teaching you how to do the things that you feel like you have had to learn on your own. And strength, yeah. It's also like strength is Leo, gentle strength, inner strength. All right, so we have the 8 of Wands, King of Cups, and the 5 of Pentacles. Whatever you do, do it with integrity. Do it with integrity and love. You want to check yourself and make sure that you're not doing it as oh my gosh, this is so weird to say, as a vendetta against someone else. Right? So if you are I feel like you know how powerful you are, but some responsibility could be taken with how it can go both negatively and positively. I can feel how uncomfortable this message is for most people watching. Wouldn't be surprised if people don't like it. But if you can own these things about yourself, find some resolve, forgive people, forgive yourself, you are going to be able to move forward in a more authentic way and in a more empowered way. Okay, so I feel like the messages are done. Let me know if you have any questions, if you would like your own reading. The link is below. You can follow me on Instagram, Bethany Empowers, TikTok at Bethany Empowers. Once you purchase a session, if you get a reading or a healing session or a coaching session, I will send you an email to schedule the day and time on my calendar. Please like and share and subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you so much for already doing so. If you don't, hit that notification bell so you're notified once you subscribe. And I'll see you guys again next time. All right, bye.